Here are 5 recent WWE factions that were amazing and 5 that were terrible. Amazing, Sanity. Comprised of Eric Young, Sawyer Fulton, Alexander Wolf, Killian Dane, and Nikki Cross, Sanity formed in October 2016 and were considered a big thing in NXT. With 5 exceptionally talented stars, including a former TNA World Champion, the quintet enjoyed a remarkable 2.5 years on the Gold brand. Not only did Wolf and Young capture the NXT Tag Team titles, but the group was also handed the 2017 Tag Team of the Year award, though things quickly changed the following year. Being called up to SmackDown via the 2018 Superstar Shakeup, noticeably without Cross, the 4 remaining members of Sanity did very little before going their separate ways. Eric Young was moved over to Raw and later was released as part of the April 2020 releases. And while Dane and Wolf would land back in NXT, Fulton would eventually leave WWE and currently competes in Impact. Arguably the most successful member of the group is Cross, a former WWE Women's Tag Team Champion, and though the group has gone their separate ways, nothing can take away the great matches Sanity had in NXT. Terrible, the League of Nations. The WWE has always had a thing for anti-American groups, and by 2015, the concept was well and truly played out. That didn't stop the company from going back to the well, however, as in late 2015, the League of Nations was formed, a stable of non-American stars led by WWE Champion Sheamus. With Alberto Del Rio, Wade Barrett, and Rusev all being involved, the group had promise, but were never given a chance to shine as a united faction. If anything, the quartet was just fodder for Roman Reigns, who was still struggling to get over with the fans, and having the big dog overcome 4 very capable opponents only added more evidence to fan criticism that he was being treated like Superman. Even the group's biggest victories felt like defeats, as although they did defeat the New Day at WrestleMania 32, they were promptly beaten up post-match by Mick Foley, Shawn Michaels, and Stone Cold Steve Austin. After this setback on the grandest stage of them all, the group quietly disbanded, as both Barrett and Del Rio left the company shortly after, while Sheamus is still hanging in WWE, and while Rusev is a full-time Twitcher now and is making a ton of money there. Thanks to his success there, Rusev is actually contemplating retiring from professional wrestling. Great, Lucha House Party. In 2018, Kalisto would begin a partnership with fellow luchadors Gran Metalik and Lince Dorado, with the trio dubbing themselves Lucha House Party. As part of their gimmick, the luchadors started to carry brightly colored noisemakers and vuvuzela horns with them, using them to celebrate after a victory. They also carried a brightly colored piñata donkey with them to the ring, which they referred to as Penelope. The group had plenty of entertainment moments during the past 2 years, such as their fun feud with the Revial, which saw plenty of good action from both teams. The team was a big hit with the crowd inside the arena and on TV. Even in defeat, the pair have come off as a fun group, as the trio may have lost their 3-on-1 handicap match to Lars Sullivan at Super Showdown 2019, but proved to the Freak and the WWE Universe that they are a united group. Unfortunately, the following night on Raw would see the last of Lucha House Party, as they were once again defeated by Sullivan, this time in a 3-on-1 handicap elimination match. Although Lucha House Party was drafted to SmackDown as part of the 2019 WWE Draft, WWE decided to disband the group as Kalisto suffered a shoulder injury in December 2019. The injury kept him off of TV for months. Though Gran Metalik has been getting some push recently, it was Lince Dorado who suffered the most, as he missed being on the main roster and had to settle for 205 Live. Terrible, PCB. When the WWE formally kicked off their women's revolution in 2015, the trio of PCB was formed, comprised of Paige, Becky Lynch, and Charlotte Flair. On paper, the group was a great addition to the Raw roster, as Paige and Flair had both been former NXT Women's Champions, and Becky one of the most popular women on the Gold brand. The group certainly started strong, as they would emerge victorious in the faction warfare of the Divas division, defeating the groupings of Sasha Banks, Naomi, and Tamina, as well as the Bellas and Alicia Fox at SummerSlam. It wasn't long, however, until the group went their separate ways, as following Charlotte's Divas title victory at Night of Champions, Paige turned on the group, ending the trio. What made matters even more confusing is that after Paige failed to take the title, Charlotte herself would turn heel, making the entire PCB alignment seem pointless in the first place. In hindsight, all three women have proven that they can shine on their own, and whilst the idea of a three-way feud between three stables seemed like a good idea at first, it wasn't long until Lynch, Charlotte, and Paige proved better off on their own, rather than together. Great, the Shield in 2019. From the moment the Shield split in 2014, fans speculated on when Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose, and Roman Reigns would eventually reunite. After 3 years apart where Rollins outshone both his brothers, the group reunited in 2017, though this didn't last long as a torn tricep kept Ambrose on the shelf until August the next year. After splitting once again following Reigns' leukemia battle and an Ambrose heel turn, the group were put together for one final time in 2019, when news broke of the Lunatic Fringe's impending departure. What fans got out of the reunion were some great matches by all three men, as well as a reminder for why fans had fallen in love with the group back in 2012 before each man was pushed as a single star. Last appearing together at the Shield's Final Chapter event on April 22, 2019, fans got one last chance to see the trio compete together before Ambrose left to join AEW as Jon Moxley. Though this reunion was brief, it did give the WWE Universe plenty of great moments, as well as a fitting send-off for one of the most popular superstars in recent years. Terrible, Braun Strowman, Dolph Ziggler, and Drew McIntyre. We've already mentioned that the Shield's reunion in 2019 was epic, but when the trio briefly came together in 2018, the WWE didn't exactly make things easy. Despite being one of the most beloved stars on Raw, the decision was made to turn Braun Strowman heel, aligning the Monster Among Men with Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre to go against the Hounds of Justice. The main issue with this is that fans still wanted to cheer Strowman, and having one of the most natural babyfaces turn heel to feud with Reigns and his cohorts didn't exactly help the big dog, who was supposed to be the face in the storyline, get over with the crowd. The stable only lasted a matter of weeks before McIntyre and Ziggler thankfully turned on Strowman, allowing the Monster Among Men to return to his babyface role while the pair of them remained as heels. Not long after this, McIntyre would eventually betray Ziggler, leading to a short singles feud between the two and leaving fans scratching their head as to why this stable existed in the first place. Great, Rusev Day. The Bulgarian Brute may have struggled as part of the League of Nations, but a few years later, Rusev was part of one epic stable. Considered one of the most underused stars in recent years, there was a time when Rusev Day swept over the WWE Universe, making him a must-see part of SmackDown's programming. Aligned with Aiden English, who served as his unofficial manager and trash talker, Rusev's wife Lana also joined the group, which offered some good-hearted fun and humorous segments. After an impressive run that even saw the Bulgarian challenge for the WWE Championship in 2018, the group finally went their separate ways in early 2019, as English turned on the group for his own reasons. Since then, Lana and Rusev have grown increasingly distant on WWE TV, with the ravishing Russian marrying Bobby Lashley in late 2019, and though Rusev and Lana remain happily married in real life, it's unlikely that we'll ever see the return of this faction that proved to be one of the highlights of SmackDown during its tenure. Terrible, Randy Orton and the Revival. On paper, Randy Orton and the Revival were a great fit. Since joining WWE, Dash and Dawson have personified a methodical, traditional style to wrestling, and teaming with the veteran Viper seemed like a perfect match. Unfortunately, the group never really got the chance to show what it was capable of, as just as quickly as the trio came together, the angle was inexplicably dropped. During their time together, the trio clashed with the New Day, though this feud mostly centered on Orton's attempts to take the WWE Championship from Kofi Kingston, and Kofi's attempt to get vengeance on the actions of Orton from a decade prior. While the teaming of Orton and the Revival could have been great, the group was split just as they were getting started, with Orton returning to a singles role, while Dash and Dawson would continue to challenge for the SmackDown Tag Team titles. As such, it's hard to think back fondly of the promising stable that never got close to reaching its full potential, and fans can blame WWE's creative team for this faction appearing on this list. Great, the Wyatt family. One of the most bizarre factions in recent memory, the Wyatt family debuted on WWE's main roster in the summer of 2013 and were instantly a hit. Though many feuds for Bray Wyatt and his group often ended with the Eater of Worlds on the losing end, these high-profile feuds against the likes of Daniel Bryan, John Cena, and The Undertaker still led to impressive matches. As a group, the Wyatts also had plenty of success, capturing the SmackDown Tag Team titles in late 2016 with Randy Orton, and Bray himself would win the WWE Championship mere months later. Even when the group broke up in 2017, things worked out for the best, as Strowman would go on to an impressive singles push and natural face turn. Both Rowan and Harper enjoyed a push as a tag team before Harper's departure in 2019, and Rowan has bounced back nicely from this, becoming a prominent star in his own right on Raw. As for Wyatt, his reinvention as The Fiend has arguably saved his career, as the new demonic character has gone on to become one of WWE's most popular stars in a very short period of time. Terrible, The Authority. Heel authority groups in WWE have been around ever since the corporation in 1999. And in 2014, The Authority was the newest collection of bad bosses. And while the idea was nothing new, what has caused The Authority to go down as one of the worst recent stables is how their presence affected everyone on the show. On Monday Night Raw, it was often The Authority who would both open and close the show, much to the chagrin of fans who wanted to see stars like Daniel Bryan, John Cena, and CM Punk during his latter months in the company. So many angles involving the group fell flat, such as Triple H beating Sting at WrestleMania 31, and the entire angle with Roman Reigns the following year that failed to help the big dog get over. The Game's wife Stephanie also didn't help things, as she would often berate superstars on TV, often with no consequences to her actions. For any good moments involving The Authority, such as losing to Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania 30, it's hard to look past all the valuable airtime the group took up that could have benefited other superstars, meaning we have no choice but to see them as a truly terrible stable. Please also check out our top 10 video, 10 Shocking WWE Surprises Planned for 2020. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to our channel and turn on all notifications so that you don't miss out on any updates we post on our channel.